The following presentation is brought to you through the meaningful relationships created through NotaryStars.com. Notary Stars is the only notary training platform and resource library offering 150 plus hours of training on every aspect of a signing agent's career, including over 35 different loan products. Oh, and their loan signing agent training is available in both English and Spanish. Members of Notary Stars are definitely dedicated to signing agent excellence, together with partners like the Remote Online Notary Network, which focuses on notaries who are pioneering in remote online notary. Notary Stars strives to give you a safe place to ask questions, get answers, gain confidence in your notary career, and achieve success without over-fabricating the truths about our industry. If you would like to support Notary Stars or the Remote Online Notary Network, please consider liking this video, subscribing to their channels, sharing this video with a colleague, or becoming a member of either site and trusting them to help you achieve the level of success you desire.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to MGM. Yes, you have officially landed at Monday General Mentorship. I know it's been a while. We've been on summer break for the last 2 weeks. And no, that doesn't mean we're on vacation, just not conducting any live sessions while we work quietly in the background to create new content for you. My name is Beth Hathoot, and we're thrilled you've decided to join us tonight. All of the Notary Stars crew is here, except for Manuel. I think he's absent this evening. And we really, truly have missed each and every one of you. This is kind of our Monday ritual, and we kind of feel like a fish without water when we can't do our Monday night mentorship. But we're back. If you're a member of the training site, we have a different class every day of the week on amazing topics to help you hone your notary skills. Check the chat for details, as Kirsten should be posting some information for you throughout the evening. Every Monday night is MGM, and we have lots of questions to catch up from the job form submissions that you have been sending in over the last 2 weeks. As we get started here, guys, you can raise your hands, your virtual hands, at any time to ask a question or share an experience. So don't be shy. Get those virtual hands raised. And then as we get ready for our session, I wanted to let you know, and I'm kind of excited about this, we're planning another free training webinar for NSAs who are wondering what makes us different in how we prepare you to be an exceptional notary at the signing table. This is free training scheduled for next Monday, the 28th of July, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You have to register to attend this event. So you don't need to be a member of the Notary Stars training platform in order to attend. This will give you a taste of how we train and what our little cheat code is, our secrets are for you. We'll post that registration link in the chat for you tonight. Just unlock some valuable insights. Register now, reserve your seat. Also, this evening, we have Samantha, the paperwork lady, as our pop-in guest tonight, and she's going to be going over some of the big, beautiful bill elements that might affect us as notaries. So that should prove to be kind of interesting. Miss Amy, do you have any updates for us on what Remote Online Notary Network has been up to these last 2 weeks?
It has been crazy, and we did not sit behind the scenes. I actually did a live demo while we were on break for Remote Online Notary Network. The launch has been amazing, but I do have a real quick update. So I'm going to share my screen really quick here. This is what your dashboard looks like when you join Remote Online Notary Network. You have to have all of the aspects of your listing complete. Otherwise, they can't find you, and we want them to find you. So if you want to be found in the search results, make sure you have all of these buttons here green. As soon as you have all of those green, people can search you and send you instant leads direct to you. And if you're not ready, let us know. We'll help take care of it, and then we'll help get you ready. That's what we're here for. So that is really what I wanted to get out there today. And now, Ronnie, what do you got?
Well, I have a couple of updates. So I actually had my best day at document translations today. We have done 6 at Unlimited Ink Notary in one single day. For those of you who've been following me along in the document translation and the Apostille world, as Unlimited Ink delves into this area, that is kind of massive because we were at like 1 to 2 a day, then it became 1 to 3 a day. Today, I also closed a $1,200 order, which is insane. I'm very proud of this, and I did call Travis, my business partner, and just let him know. Just so you know, I closed a $1,200 order. And that was actually working with our partner Idiomatic, who stops in once a month that you guys can partner with as well. We worked a deal with the customer instead of charging them this astronomical rate because they had such a bulk. Idiomatic was able to discount their price, work with us, quote the customer, and they also needed a rush fee, so they actually waived that rush fee so that we could close this deal together. Now I'll wind up with a really nice commission off of that, which is 20%. And that goes into Unlimited Ink's pocket. However, 2 of the 6 are turning into apostilles, which I want to let you guys know on the Notary Stars Plus marketing level, we are now working with something what we call Apostille Assist. So I've been doing apostilles now for about 6 months in different states, working with a lot of you, and learning things as we go. And with this Apostille Assist, we're taking what we learn with what the notaries that we're partnering with, those that are signing up in the marketing list to be a part of your runner list or your full apostille list to help you facilitate these nationwide. We're coming up with a way where you guys can work and communicate with each other faster, but also a knowledge base that says, hey, I'm working in Delaware. Can I do remote online notarization? Who's the runners there? All of those things. So at the Notary Star Plus marketing level, if you're advertising apostille, those dynamic websites that we offer definitely will help you market your apostille business. If you're not ready for that yet and you're only doing your local area, you can go to find it at notaryapostilleagent.com, which is a website I built for you to market locally. You can just claim a listing there until you're ready to market on a more national basis. But we are coming up with kind of what I'm calling an apostille assist, and that's going to be available at that membership level. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is we've kind of evolved the marketing level. I took a lot of the stuff that's out there and made it into better modules for you where you can literally come in, take that template, and then start your journey very easy, step 1, step 2, step 3, so that you learn in a better order. But there's also something that's coming at right here at the turn of August is something that you can interact with on a daily basis in order to market your business. I want to really take a step out there to kind of give you something every single day of the month that you could be working on every business day. We started with a 30-day challenge that worked out really, really well. And I have action items on my calendar every day. They're just like 15-minute items that I do to market Unlimited Ink, Notary Stars, Remote Online Notary Network, all these types of things. And I want to kind of share that with you guys at the marketing level as well so that you can kind of see how I do things. I have to tell you, I learned it all from Elon Musk. I know that he's not a lot of people's favorite person right now, but I watched an interview with him about how he crams so much in each day. And I watched how, he did the calendars and all of that sort of thing. And I kind of got a vibe for it. And I've been using it for a long time. So I'm going to be sharing some secrets in that marketing level that I've never really shared before, that I'm excited about. That brings me to my last little statement here with Remote Online Notary Network. As you guys know, I'm definitely a part of that. The website marketing tools are available on that side as well. We are getting inquiries. In fact, we've gotten them up to 2, 3, 5 a day. We are sending them out. We've noticed as a lot of them are coming in with state-specific requirements. So we're reaching out, and I will have no shame in saying we need more in the Michigan area, for sure. We're getting a ton of Michigan. And Amy had actually told me, Amy, if you want to tell me why we're getting so many Michigan.
I can. So anytime that you're submitting any kind of government document, especially into the city of Detroit, they will not accept an alternative RON state. They want the notary to be commissioned in Michigan for those documents when they're done online. We also have that same issue in Colorado with wills because the probate court won't take them if they're done by a notary out of Colorado, that's not Colorado. So government procurement type aspects.
Okay. So we're getting a lot out of Michigan, but we're getting them all over. I mean, right before I jumped into this meeting tonight, we have one from Arizona. We've seen them out of Florida. We've seen them out of all states. We are sending them out. We're posting them in Facebook to kind of make it enticing. But what I'm finding is it's going pretty fast with us because outside of Remote Online Notary Network, we have a dynamic website that's promoting Remote Online Notary Network. We're teaching you guys how to promote your own site and bring them in. You know, definitely if you haven't started your journey at the Remote Online Notary Network or the Notary Star Plus marketing level, whichever way you want to go with it, that same template is available under now both brands. I would love to see you guys kind of getting your own leads as well. But I will tell you that we are calling, and what I'm finding is that a lot of people are not ready, even though that they've signed up. They're like, oh, I'm getting this or that. In place, and that's okay, but get there because the leads are coming and you're missing them. And you know, these are direct leads that once they become your customer, even if they're processed through the Remote Online Notary Network, you can market to them over and over and over again. So it's going to be accumulation of who gets the most leads first, for sure. There will always be enough business to go around. There will always be a need for a notary yesterday, even just like paper notaries. But you want to be there to start capturing your business. So don't be afraid to, you know, kind of speed up your wheels a little bit to get ready for those types of transactions. Miss Beth, I think I'm done with my announcements for now. Let's get this show on the road. I think you're on mute there, Miss Beth.
Sorry, I was muted. I was being good. I think we need to start with the hands in the gallery, which is going to be Jamila. If you want to go ahead and unmute Jamila and ask your question, we're ready for you.
My question was about the apostille that you were just talking about. I did see something on the website that I did sign up for, which might have been the apostille assist. But are you recommending that we also have the pay the yearly listing for the yearly listing as well?
So this is a really great question. So the Notary Stars Plus marketing and also the Remote Online Notary Network, no matter how you're connecting to that website template, you don't absolutely need the listings. Now that site is a niche market site, okay? So you can purchase a listing there, and while your website's taking hold, have a listing there. But within a year, you really won't need it because I'm going to have taught you how to, you know, market these things for yourself. And your website, if you're on that level, will do what that website does. You just have to have time. Now, I built that as a very niche keyword specific website, which you can do with any particular landing page. That site is really to just kind of bridge the gap while you're trying to get ready to draw on business to help pay for your marketing costs. But in the long run, you don't really need to, like if you're on jailnotaryservices.com or if you're on findanotaryapostilleagent.com, or if you're on emergencynotaryservices.com, eventually that website that you get and you customize will take hold, and you don't need to buy those listings anymore. You'll be able to take control of your future. So those are just kind of starter websites for you, or anybody that's trying to get their feet wet and get the business in the door so they can pay for other marketing costs. But they're not a long-term solution. The long-term solution is learning how to control that template for yourself and then making that happen. So it's a really,
Well, right now
really
I do
great
need it
question.
because I'm brand new. I think I do need it. And happy birthday. And
Thank you.
I just want to shout you out because let me tell you, nobody else has put together a network like this. Like, I am so happy I found you. I'm a lifer. Like, without Beth and like Amy and Kirsten, I would have been lost.
Well, we appreciate you saying that, but I want to tell you that there are a lot of networks out there like this, and I just want to give a shout out to a few of my favorite, if you don't mind. We love Laura Buer. I think she might be in the audience tonight. We love Notary Academy. We love Notary to Pro. We love so many people out there that put together networks. I'm glad that you found a home here, that you feel like you're a lifer, so to speak, and I want you to be a lifer. But I want to remind you that you can learn a lot from so many different networks. You can also start your own, like our Notary Star of the Year, Celicia Jones out of Jacksonville, Florida. don't let the chain of love end with you. Go visit other groups as well. Come back and share in the love. I'm glad you feel that way. Really glad, but I want to make sure you know that there's a lot of loving resources out there that can make you feel this way as well. And thank you
All
for the
righty.
wishes.
I love that little threading of the love there. That's kind of nice to share. We're gonna go to VJ now. She's got her hand up. Do you want to go ahead and unmute and ask your question, VJ?
Hi, can you see me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyway, happy Monday. Happy belated birthday, Rani. Okay. Am I the only person who's still working on the website, or is anybody else with me? Because I am doing my best to finish it as fast as I can, but I'm not able to. I'm having like I'm in lesson 21 now. I'm trying to do the dynamic pages, finishing up the dynamic pages. There are some eh, and one dynamic page like New York page, when I try to connect, it doesn't connect to the New York zip codes and something. That's one of the issues that I'm having. So is there something that we talk about here, or should we keep it to the marketing class? That's one question.
So
Second question
VJ,
is, yes.
so on Thursdays, I actually have a whole half hour before the class where I teach new things where you can bring in any questions about the website itself. Unfortunately,
Okay,
it doesn't quite fit into tonight's conversation, but the
okay,
question that you asked for everyone is anybody else having struggles? And I'm going to tell you right now, the answer is yes.
okay.
Rome wasn't built in a day, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't learn the things that I'm teaching overnight. You're on challenge 20. I'm still waiting to put out challenge 26, okay? Because I'm
Oh,
giving people time to catch up. And people
okay. So at
have
least
let
I'm
me
not
know,
that far away.
yeah, people have let me know, like, and everybody's on a different time constraint. So let me just remind everybody, okay? And I do not think I'm better than everyone, but I gotta brag about it at some point. I have a master's in adult education and training back there. And I leave it hanging on the wall so everybody can see it because I went to school. And one of the things that I learned as an educator is that every student is on a different journey, and adult learners especially. Okay, so whenever you're going to a class in the evenings after work, those teachers are conditioned to understand that you're not just thinking about your website. You're thinking about, oh God, did I get the laundry out of the dryer? Did
Yep,
the kids get to
yep.
sleep? Can I pay the rent or the mortgage this month? So we're all on different level playing fields. And my goal as an educator is to just kind of corral all of you into kind of a steady journey. So don't ever
Mm-hmm.
feel like you're left behind or going too fast or those sorts of things. I'll be there for you if you get too far off track. We've got Kirsten to assist me with that as well, and even had an agent to assist me with those things. So you're not
Yes,
alone in your journey. You're going to get to your greatness when you are ready to get there. And every single person here will get to their goal when they are ready to get to their goal. And I didn't get to mine until it was time. I have so many
mhm.
regrets and thank God I could have done that years ago, but I didn't. I didn't have the inspiration or the influence or the drive at certain moments in my life. So if you're on that path and you go 2 steps at a time, and someone goes 1 step at a time, and some people go 5 steps at a time, you should never compare yourself to anyone but yourself, especially in business.
Okay. Well, thank you. I mean, I thought I'm really lagging, and I definitely spend a good chunk of time with my website. And then as I try to move forward, it doesn't let me move forward, and I get frustrated. I know in the past, you and Kristen and Amy, all of you were helped me out in several aspects of the web page, but and of course Beth, she's forever a educator. So I thank you for that. One more question. This is for Amy. I know I wanted to join your class, but then I got the time mixed up and I logged in at 7. See, my time it's supposed to be 6, I think. Anyway, are you planning to have a regular class that we can join with the new notary platform?
Yeah, so we do have the replays available. So if you missed it, either Notary Stars or Remote Online Notary Network, you can go and look at the replays. They're on the website. And we are going to have class this Friday. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern. And I'm bringing Tim Reisinger in. He is the attorney who wrote the law for Virginia Ron. He was the one who created it all. And he's going to come in and he's going to talk about all the different aspects of what you can and can't do online, as far as where do you cross the line for unauthorized practice of law. I am super stoked. I can't wait to see him.
And Amy, that's a registered event. So Kirsten, if you don't mind popping that into the chat and just having everybody register for that, that is a registered event. But I do want to remind everybody before we move on, and I know we got to get to Miss Samantha at some point. If we only get one great hour together, guys, and we're here, you know, to answer any questions that you have. So if you want to get your hands raised and get into queue, that would be wonderful. We don't want to make Miss Samantha wait too long because we would like to get her while we have the most viewers. But I want to remind you guys that part of my marketing class, not all of it, is now under the Remote Online Notary Network umbrella. It's a separate company, just like Notary Stars is separate from Unlimited Ink. You will be able to access my marketing, the website template, all of those things. And Amy is splitting her time between Remote Online Notary Network and Notary Stars. So you'll be able to join her classes through both of those. So Remote Online Notary Network is specifically geared toward remote online notaries. Okay. So if that is your passion and what you're really trying to accomplish at the moment, that's definitely where you want to be. But you'll get a little bit of the best of the both worlds. Now, there's no loan signing agent training over at Remote Online Notary Network. If you're going to be doing loan signings on those, you need to have had loan signing agent training. If you're going to be doing different types of documents, you need to have your training for that. Remote Online Notary Network is all about getting set up as a remote online notary and marketing as a remote online notary. So we're taking those aspects and making it zeroed in over there, but you'll have access to the best components of that on that side. Miss Beth, we got to keep going with these questions today.
Yeah, we're already 22 minutes in, guys, and we have a ton of jot form questions. So I think I'm going to veer off there and try to knock a few of those out, and then we'll go back to the gallery. First one is for Kirsten. Miss Kirsten, this question is yours. It says, I know that I have to have a California compliant jurat on anything I do inside or outside of the state. I know I can use anyone's acknowledgement, but what if the acknowledgement is something that's going out of the country? Is that different?
Well, honestly, I think I should defer to Laura on this one. But from my understanding, as a California notary, one, you should play it safe and always use state compliant certs when doc is going out of the country, because it has to be apostilled. But a jurat, like they said in the question, it's got to be California compliant regardless of where it goes. But for the acknowledgement, if it's going outside of the state and out of the country is outside of the state, it should be okay. But when in doubt, you could. But I'm going to ask Laura because she is California compliant.
There we go. I just pinned Miss Laura, but I'm trying to find her to do that. I'm trying to ask. Oh, there we go. You're unmuted.
I'm unmuted. So, Kristen, I think you were just right there. The only thing I would add is that California law says if the document is going out of the country, you must use your California compliant acknowledgement. You may not use any other one. So anything going out of the country must be your jurat and your California compliant certificate. No exception.
Good to know. Good to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Laura.
That might be pretty consistent in just about every state, I'm thinking, because if it has to be apostilled, then they probably want to see their notary certificate to certify their notary, right?
Now, this is the type of information that I'll be adding into what we learn on the Apostille Assist. So I've actually, found, like in the state of Arizona, you cannot have the word notary anywhere in the body of the text for a power of attorney. So it doesn't matter what it says. if the word notary appears and they can read that word notary, they won't apostille your document. So these are types of nuances that we're adding to that apostille assist as we go. And it's going to take a village, you know, to enter this information. It's not just going to be me. It's going to be those who are actually facilitating apostilles. We all are learning, you know, as we go. Even though we train, we learn things every day. So we'll be adding that into the apostille assist. Let's keep this show rolling, Miss Beth. This one's actually for you. This was from Valerie. It says, I accidentally stamped upside down on a document and I only had one copy, so I just stamped it again. Is this okay?
Yes and no. If you're going to stamp it twice for whatever reason, maybe the stamp isn't clear, you're missing part of the border, something went wrong with the stamp, then you want to void the one that you're not using, the flubbed one with, you know, put a line through it or write void across it so that it's clear you want the other one to be the official stamp. But I gotta tell you, if your stamp's upside down, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It could be vertical, it could be upside down, it could be cattywampus. As long as it's legible, they'll take it. All righty, let's go and move on. This one is from Sonia, and it's for Mr. Mickle. This says, I'd like to know if there are documents in a trust signing that don't need to be notarized.
So trust agreements, deeds, POAs all need to be notarized. If it's estate planning, then it may contain documents that may only require witnesses, like advanced healthcare directives. Now, I just want to say I appreciate you putting that answer in there for me, Miss Beth, because I did not answer that question. I could answer the question.
To say that.
I could answer the question, but I read that verbatim, and I don't like to not speak from the heart. But since you put it there, I really appreciate you being prepared. But these are, you know, when it comes, I want to say my answer for this. So when it comes to a trust signing and documents that don't need to be notarized, I've done estate planning before having available training out there. Like Laura has a certified notary trust delivery agent. I can never do the call letters right, so I'm going to have to say the long name. But when I've done estate planning and before formal training was available for notaries, I want to remind you that when you look down at a document, you always want to look at the beginning of the document and you want to check all the way to end to see if that document has a notarization, a certificate available for you. If it doesn't, then it generally probably doesn't need to be notarized. You don't want to kind of show your weaknesses. And then one thing that I will tell you that I've had in the past that you can look for is there's some attorneys that will put like a little parenthesis at the end of the document that says attach a notarial certificate, and it won't have it pre-printed for you. So you do need to look for those from time to time, but that can also happen in a loan signing as well. So when you're looking at your document, you always want to look at the end of the document, see if there's a notary certificate available for you. That means it needs to be notarized. And also just inspect that document to make sure there's not like a little thing near the signature line that says attach a notarial certificate. Ms. Beth, have you seen that before in the past?
I have. And what's that saying that Miss Carol, our original mentor, used to tell us? Let the document speak to you.
Yeah.
Right?
One more thing I just got to throw in on that, Miss Beth, is that so many notaries, we just had an email today that came in and I responded. I said, this would be a great question. I hope they're here tonight. And I wrote them back, but they said, you know, I really want someone to train me for general notary work. And my response to that is there's so many documents to train for general notary work that you'd never have enough trainers out there. We'd all have to be training each other on something that we encountered. Now we can zero in on estate planning. We can zero in on loan documents. We can zero in on a lot of things, but you cannot be afraid to be a notary and wield your stamp. When somebody brings you a document and they want it notarized, you have a job to do. Number one, you need to identify that signer. Make sure that that person is who they say they are per your state laws. Second thing is you need to make sure that they actually understand the document. Do they know what they're signing? When it's not a loan signing, your job is to kind of say, do you understand what you're signing today? Or make sure that they're competent and that they want to sign that document. And then your third job is to make sure that you record that in your journal accurately. Okay. You cannot be afraid to be a notary coming into this industry. You have to be confident. You want to just understand that, you read your manual, you took training, you continue to seek training. Don't be afraid to go out there and be a notary. I mean, that's what you wanted to do when you raised your right hand and promised to uphold your state commission.
We have just about 30 minutes to finish the rest of our session tonight. We do have Samantha that I want to make sure gets some time to talk to us about the one big beautiful bill and how it affects us as notaries. But I'd like to get at least 2 quick questions out of the gallery first, and then we can go to Samantha. Does that sound like a plan?
That sounds like a plan.
Miss Vivian, go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Hello, everybody. I am actually brand new to the community. I'm a NNA and LSS certified. So I stumbled across you guys, and I am so happy that I did. So my quick question is, I have all this training, but I'm trying to learn how to navigate the community and getting the things that I'm actually needing, such as I think I'm up to my 6th signing, but just want to learn a little bit more. I am a RON certified as well, but I'm in the state of Florida, so that's a little different. So I'm on Blue Notary there. So I just really I'm trying to navigate the platform on how do I get to what I really need for is training or just supplementing what I already have.
So are you talking about Remote Online Notary Network, or are you talking about Notary Stars?
Notary Stars.
Okay, so we can make this a pretty quick presentation for you here, and I'm just gonna head over to our website. Now, we have live trainers that are here all day, every day, okay? Your membership fees and everyone's membership fees is to pay all of our salaries here to help you. So you can actually call us, get someone on the phone to help you walk you through this website. But in short, really quickly, if you are at the Notary Star level, you want to keep an eye on the banner across the top here. You're going to see that you have access to different journeys. So you have access to Notary Basics and Signing Agent Training and RON Training under the Notary Star level. Okay, when you're looking for the loan signing training, you're going to check out this journey here, Signing Agent Training, when you log in. This menu changes when you log in from the just generally facing the website. And you're going to see different modules. And our suggestion is we put them in order so you can go in order. So you're going to start with module 1, module 2, module 3. Now, as you make your way through, there are 150 hours of training on the website on every loan product under the sun. It can take you a minute to get through it, but we're there for you if you have questions. And then Beth teaches a live class every week, so does Kirsten, so that you can bring questions about those modules into those classes, primarily Best class. And we're also available by phone for you if you have questions as you work your way through. Did I give you a good answer, Miss Vivian? All right, perfect.
So you must have said something in there about just getting out there even if you're not ready. Cynthia from Texas says, Ronnie, thank you for saying that. So it's okay for me to just get out there and go to work?
Yes and no. Okay, you do need training before you go out. You got to read your notary handbook. You got to know your state laws. You got to have the tools of equipment. For loan signings, you definitely have to have trainings or you'll make enemies really quick. But when it comes to general notary work, you can't really be trained on general notary work. Now, if you want to partner with estate planning companies, you can get a certification from Laura when it comes to Certified Notary Trust Delivery Agent. If you want to work in apostilles, you can get additional training to help you. But on general notary work, you really shouldn't delay once you've read your notary handbook, once you've attended some training to help get you comfortable with that. you should not delay and not be afraid to start taking work from the general public, because it's different than loan signings. It's different than estate planning in that arena. And now you have to have to separate what is a loan signing and what is general notary work and what is an apostille and what is estate planning. But when you can identify what general notary work is, it's just, I need this document notarized and you need to do X, Y, Z, those three things I just talked about earlier. So at that point, you should not be afraid to get out. But yes, you should know your state laws. You should have read your handbook at least twice before you go out, and be like little Ronnie Lee when he was a notary baby. I took mine printed out in my briefcase everywhere I went and double checked myself before I ever put my notary stamp down.
How about another gallery question? And I don't know if this is your name or if you're saying that you are Ron in California, or you want to do Ron in California.
No, I am Ron, and I'm in California.
I thought so.
I
Okay.
love that name.
I thought you would.
Ron and Ronnie. How can we help, Ron?
Okay, so I had a question from a while back. I put it in the Jot. I put it in the Jot form, and I was told that I should send it. That I should do it live instead of Jot form because it was a little bit more nuance to it. In different loan signing offers that I get, they have where it requests a witness and for the notary to be the witness. However, in all the NNA recommendations and otherwise, it's all, including the Notary Stars training, it's always recommended for the notary to be the notary and the witness to be the witness, and for the two to not go together. Now, one of the signings I had was from Unlimited Ink, and when I mentioned that, she seemed confused when I said that I wasn't comfortable with that.
So this is probably going to be for one of our Florida clients. It was probably a Florida property.
Yes.
And Florida state allows the notary to be a witness and as one of the witnesses on a conveyance deed, and also be the notary. Now, in other states, this is going to vary. So if you talk to a scheduling agent, the scheduling agents are not notaries. Our scheduling agents are not notaries. They do review your scambacks, but they're trained to just review for the signatures, dates, initials, those sorts of things. They're not trained to understand notary law. We expect the notaries to be able to explain that. So in California, you would let them know, I am unable to provide a witness for you. Okay, if your state does not allow you or you're not comfortable providing a witness, I'm not able to allow. So they would then ask you, they would either pay you to bring another witness with you, okay, or they would assign another notary to meet you for that signing as a witness. So when you're working with schedulers and even other companies, sometimes they're going to ask to do things, but the schedulers may not be privy to exactly how each state works, although we try. You can always ask at Unlimited Ink to escalate to a manager to speak to someone like myself, Travis, or John. Or even Beth. Sometimes we overflow into her, get questions from her. You can ask those questions, but I can guarantee you, I already know that came out of a Florida property. I could probably look it up and prove it right now, but no need to do that.
Oh, I know it did. I know it
okay.
did.
So that's going to be because Florida instructions are attached to that order, and that scheduler's looking at the Florida instructions, but it's going out in California. So you have to be able to say, I'm not able to do this. And we actually have some hardcore states out there that are like, absolutely not. And the notaries there, they come back and say, we can't do this here. It's not even a question here. I can't remember what states those are. Miss Beth, can you call one out? Is there one state you can think of?
That says absolutely not.
Yeah, I think it might be Tennessee.
Colorado.
Colorado. I think Tennessee, somewhere over in the southeast, there's another one. Where they absolutely can't. And so you have to be that guiding force, Ron, for anybody that you're working with, even Unlimited, because there's only one of me and one of Travis and one of Beth. So even the schedulers at that level, you have to kind of be their guide and say, can't do that in California. You're going to need to provide another witness for me, or I'm going to have to charge you more to bring one of my own.
So Ron, I did see your Jot form come over.
It was
And I did answer that. So if you didn't get it, it fell into your spam. But
Okay.
one thing I wanted to add to Ronnie's talking about, some states say, yeah, you can be the notary and the witness on a document, and some states absolutely forbid it. Other states aren't so easy to figure that out. But what you need to know is many states prohibit a notary from performing a notarial act if they're the signer of, a party to, or a beneficiary of the document being notarized. And we see that in handbook after handbook after handbook in many states. But what you need to know is when you sign as a witness, now you become a signer on that document and you can't notarize it according to the state law. So when you're looking in your handbook, it might say, no, Ron, you cannot be the notary and a witness on the same document. It may not say that specifically. You have to really look at the way your regulations are written in order to figure that out sometimes. We had another one, Rosa, or Rose sent in that almost exact same answer, so, or question. So there's the answer for both of them.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. All righty. I think, Mr. Mickle, that we might be ready for Samantha.
All right, let's get Miss Samantha pinned up. So guys, I'm gonna give Miss Samantha get her pinned up, but I also want to say thank you, Miss Samantha, for coming back. You've now become a good part of our community, and you always bring so much wonderful information for us. Guys, if you don't feel like this information pertains to you, I can assure you anything that Miss Samantha brings to the table pertains to everyone, whether you're a notary or not. She brings wonderful information to the one thing we all got to do, taxes. So let's see, did I get you unmuted there? Let's see. For some reason, I can't do the request. Can any of you do it?
Oh, for Samantha? Let's see.
Yeah. I've got her pinned.
There we
There
go.
we go.
Somebody sent it.
There we go.
Hi, everybody, and happy birthday, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Lots of birthdays this week. My husband, my mother-in-law, we're all either Taurus or Cancers. I don't know why we get along. I think we're supposed to be fighting, but we do. So happy birthday to you. You're my people. That's why we get along.
Thank you.
So I am bringing you some information today about the big, beautiful bill. And I'm going to keep it very factual because, as everybody knows, these are quite hot topics these days. And this is just factual. This is what's happened and what is part of the big, beautiful bill. And that is what it's named. I'm not for or against, just telling you how it is. I've been in some really crazy trainings the last couple of weeks. So I'm trying to learn from their mistakes. There is a lot going on. It is very new. It is over 900 pages. And so I may not have the answers to everything, but I wanted to give you guys some highlights. And I did, Beth, I set a little timer. So if you hear my timer go off, that means that's all the information I can give you today. And then, we can add more next time because there's a lot. But the big, beautiful bill, one of the major things. So in 2017, we had the Tax Cuts and Job Act. Biggest overhaul ever in tax history, okay? You guys might have remembered we were going to go to a postcard. Taxes were going to become a postcard. We were going to have like 2 tax brackets. Everybody was going to be able to do their own taxes. That didn't quite happen. But there were a lot of things that did happen in that 2017 Tax Cuts and Job Act, which is called the TCJA. That was set to sunset next year, which means any of those changes that came out in 2017, we were going to revert to our old ways after next year. What the big, beautiful bill did is it solidified it and made most of it permanent. So some of those things are higher standard deductions. What are standard deductions? That's the amount of money you get to take off of your income before we calculate taxes. Some people itemize, they write off their house, they write off their, in California, we can still write off job hunting and stuff like that. You write off taxes you pay. So that's itemizing, or you can take a standard deduction. A standard deduction is based on your filing status: single, head of household, married filing joint, married filing separate. You get this dollar amount that you can make before you have to start paying taxes. It used to be like $12,000 for a couple. Now it's a little over $30,000 for a couple. So that means you can make about $30,000 as a married couple together before you even start paying taxes. Okay, so standard deduction, it's staying higher. We're going to get to keep that. Another thing that happened is the higher child tax credit. So we used to get $1,000 per child on our taxes, a credit towards our taxes. It was actually refundable, meaning it could be money that gets put in your pocket. That was increased to $2,000, and that will be staying now up at $2,000. I actually think there's some inflation going to be added to that, so it may start going up. It had always just been a stagnant $1,000 per year, never changed. Tax brackets, we did not go down to 2 tax brackets. We kept the same amount of tax brackets, but they did change, and we will be keeping those changes. We added the other dependent credit. So if somebody doesn't have a social security number and you support them, or if you have a 20-year-old child at home that you support that doesn't qualify for the child tax credit, you at least get a $500 credit for them, not the full $2,000. SALT was a huge one, especially in California, Florida. Those of us that have like houses that start at $500,000 in our state. SALT is state and local taxes. And what this bill did, this was actually one of the negatives, it maxed it out at $10,000. We could only write off $10,000 in state and local taxes. Well, if you're in Los Angeles, California, you might be paying that every 6 months. You're losing this big, huge thing. So that actually we will be keeping. However, it was increased to $40,000 until 2030. So a little bit of a correction there for us higher income states. However, it's not permanent. Okay, what are the new things with the big, beautiful bill? 1099 NECs. You know those things you get in the mail anytime you make more than $600 from any company? That amount is going up to $2,000. So we will not have to issue 1099s if you are paying somebody under $2,000. You will not be receiving 1099s if you made under $2,000 from one particular company. That does not mean that is not taxable income. That does not mean you don't have to include it in your income. That does not mean you pretend like you never made that money and you don't pay taxes on it, because somebody's going to find out. We have notary journals. There's all kinds of things out there. That just puts more responsibility on you as the business owner to track your income and not count on others to issue the 1099s. Okay, that will actually start adjusting for inflation, meaning it might go up a little bit every year, whereas before it was just the stagnant, always $600. QBI is something that came out of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Job Act. It is a 20% deduction. So you calculate your income, you calculate your expenses, you get a net, right? 20% of that is then taken off of your income before you calculate taxes, unless you're a really high earner. For most of us, we're not making over $150,000. So I see a question, 1099 miscellaneous. I just saw it in the chat, so I just wanted to address it real quick. 1099 miscellaneous, as of 2 or 3 years ago, you should never be issuing those if it's for work. 1099 miscellaneous should be used for things like, I gave you rental assistance. I gave you what other things, but it's not earned income. Earned income should always be on a 1099 NEC, and that limit has gone from 600 to 2,000. Sorry, back to the QBI, I got sidetracked. So QBI, 20% deduction, net income, you then get 20% off before you calculate taxes. The intention was support small businesses. They have now made a minimum clause. So as long as you make $1 on your business, oh no, it's make at least $1,000 on your business, you're going to get at least a $400 deduction. Wow, 7 minutes went really quick. That was a timer. So you're going to get a $400 deduction off of your income. It's not $400 back to you. It's taken off of your income. So if you're in a 20% tax bracket, that saves you what, $80. But it's something, okay? So that one will also adjust for inflation. A reminder that our industry is considered SSTB. We're service-based. So the QBI, once you get over like 150,000, we start losing that. I'm going to mention one more and then I'm going to have to stop for tonight, but I know everybody wants to know about the no tax on tips thing and how can we make that work for us as notaries and make everything a tip and not pay. You can't. I hate to break it to you. It's not going to work. They are actually, the IRS is going to come out with a list of commonly tipped professions that will fall into this category. It is only good for 2025 through 2028, and then it sunsets. It's only a 3-year thing, 3-4 year. It is limited by income for self-employment. There's actually limits on there if you're self-employed. But because we are that SSTB, we're service-based, we are most likely going to be completely excluded from this. Anybody in service-based will be excluded from that no tax on tips. It is up to $25,000 per year. So you're thinking, you know, servers, bartenders, people in commonly tipped industries, they will be able to make up to $25,000 in tips as long as they are making under $150,000 a year. So they're lower earners, and they won't have to be tipped on that. This is going to be like madness for the poor employer to figure out how to report this. They are going to have bigger reporting requirements. Employers are going to have to do a lot more work. That also means if you have a side hustle and you get a W-2 as a bartender, as a waiter, as whatever industry with tips on it, there's more tips are going to be reported on your W-2. It's not, you know, a lot, those industries are notorious for cash going in the pocket and not getting reported. There's going to be a lot more reporting requirements to accommodate this no taxing of the tips. I'm going to stop there and let you guys have questions. I mean, that's like a quarter of what I have written down, so I'll bring more next time.
Listen, that just guarantees your appearances over the next 3 sessions, right?
Oh, I don't have to do anything. It's already written out for me.
Perfect.
I'm gonna skip the line, Miss Beth, if that's okay, because I brought Travis in to kind of overhear this. So first of all, Miss Samantha, I want to, and I just gave Travis co-host in case he needed it. I want to make sure, because Travis texted me, because I was like, you better get in here and hear this, because he does all of that stuff for us. I just want to make sure everybody understands. It looks like this starts in tax year 2026, correct?
It's different. Every part of it is different. My understanding, yes, the 1099 NEC, I think I said 25. I apologize. It does 2026. So this year you will still have to do your 1099s up to 600. Next year it will be up to 2000, and then it will adjust for inflation annually.
Okay. And then for someone like a signing service, we have lots of notaries who do 1 or 2 for us, you know, throughout the country. We generally don't send a 1099 unless it's 600. So what is that like for us on the tax side? Is it more taxes for us if we don't 1099 at 600, or is it the same thing? It just means we don't have to send them, because I actually love that we won't have to pay that many more, because we'll have a huge savings on not having to send the 1099s, because those things cost a lot of money. Which, reminder to signing agents, when they say, why does the signing service collect so much money? There's a lot of operational costs sending out thousands of 1099s for $600 or $500 to all the notaries throughout the country. So we'll pay less money sending those out, because sometimes they can range up to $13.99 per person. So if I have to send out that many less of them, hallelujah, that would be great. but I just want to make sure that there's no tax ramification on the side of a signing service.
You still get the write-off. You
Okay.
still get, yeah, if I pay you $100, I still get to write off $100, even though I'm not issuing a 1099. You'll just have less less requirements to report. Again, notaries, you still have to report the income. I can't tell you how many notaries come to me as a tax preparer and they're like, there's my 1099s, that's what I made. And I tell you, if I'm calling BS, the IRS is calling BS, because I know for a fact you're getting some cash somewhere, you're getting some tips somewhere. Somebody paid you one signing and didn't issue a 1099, and in an audit, there are ways. I'm telling you, they're creative and they will find it.
Awesome. Miss Samantha, I just want to ask if Miss Susan, does your hand raise pertain to this conversation or is it from before? Okay, so Miss Samantha, I'm going to ask if you don't mind just peruse the chat from around the time that you started. And guys, we post her information and we've got wonderful tax tips from her every single month. Please make sure to watch the replays of when she comes in. We tag her in the post. I want to say thank you for taking time, but let me point out something that I just think everybody should observe. We have her pinned on the screen right now, and take a look at that office behind her. That is not a notary office back there, okay? That is somebody who is working in taxes, and we bring her here. You can see from that office that that is somebody who is working with paperwork back there. You know, there's several desks, the one she's sitting at, the one to her right, the one behind her, and one over in the corner. And another one over to the side. We bring her here because first of all, I want to remind everybody I met you through Notary Academy, which we have a lot of respect for. They borrowed you to us, and you know, we've got to bring you in, and now you've really taken hold within our community. I really appreciate the advice that you bring into the community, which we can't give because we're not tax professionals. And I want to let people know that you are accessible, right? Outside of Notary Stars, people can contact you and hire you and all of those sorts of things for taxes, correct?
Absolutely. I will give a little caveat, just like you, I have error and omissions insurance. I have contracts, and I can't give you one-on-one advice if you're not a client. So if I'm sorry, you know, I will listen, I will answer general questions, but I can't tell you your situation, give you advice without you being a client with a paid session so that my E&O will cover me if there's ever an issue.
Thank you. That's very important to know. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We're going to keep moving along with the session, but I just wanted to remind everybody that we're not just bringing in somebody who thinks they know about taxes. This is somebody who knows about taxes.
Yeah. Ronnie, can I jump in 1 second, just really quick, because I see a
Sure.
lot of chat, and it's the one I didn't get to, but the no taxes on Social Security. I just want to clarify that the no taxes on Social Security has nothing to do with Social Security. It came out, it was an email, it made it seem like this was all Social Security related. It is not. There is a senior deduction, not a Social Security deduction, okay? Over 65, you get an extra $6,000 off of your income. So we were talking about that standard deduction. In addition, seniors only over 65 get to take $66,000 more off of their income before taxes are calculated. If you make over $75,000 as a single person, that starts phasing out. It is lower income than most, and it's only through 2028. It is not a permanent change. So I just
That's
wanted
terrible.
to
Are
That's
you
terrible
telling
to
us
know
as
for us.
notaries that we have to start looking for people over around 55 and fake IDs? Is that your secret hidden message for tonight?
No, it's just yeah, I just want to clarify because there is a lot of misinformation going around, and that was a big one, and I saw it in the chat. And I'm glad in the chat whoever started it did say senior deduction, not Social Security deduction. Thank you. You got it right.
One other thing that was in the chat as well, asking if we had to declare tips on, or declare tips if we get them. we in our position as a public officer have to be really careful about tips that we take. It can be seen as kickbacks, incentive to turn a blind eye to something unscrupulous. So unless you're taking a bag of quail eggs from your signers at the table, money or anything of any real consequence is not something we need to be doing. So we're not worried about paying taxes on it because we can't take them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We have two hands up in the gallery. Ronnie, do we want to take those real quick and then we'll close out the evening? We're right at 6 o'clock.
Yes, and I have the outro tonight, so I wanted to ask everybody just to stick around. I have something nice to say to everybody, but let's go ahead and get these two hands raised really quick, and I'll get you guys out as soon as possible tonight.
All righty. Joanna, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
It was an accident.
Oh, you don't have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hi. Your hand was raised. Hi. Billy Holt, go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Okay, it's about the tax thing. When she was talking about the changes for taxes or the Social Security, isn't one retirement and one is disability? And if you earn up to a certain amount, they start taxing your Social Security. Does that make sense?
I can jump in there. So that hasn't changed. That has always been. If the only income you have is Social Security and you have nothing else, you're not going to pay taxes on your Social Security. If in addition to your Social Security, you have notary income, pensions, earned income, a higher portion of your Social Security becomes taxable the more you make. So it could go from 0% to 50%, all the way up to 85% of your Social Security could be taxable based on your other income. But that's not changing. The only thing that's changing is they're taking off an additional $6,000 before they calculate taxes. If you're 65 and over, irrelevant if you have Social Security or not.
So it doesn't matter which program is if it's disability or SSI or
It does. SSI is never taxable. Disability is never taxable. So we're talking Social Security retirement.
Retirement. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
All righty. Perfect. I think that wraps us up, and I've lost Ronnie. Is he still on there?
I'm still here.
There you are. Ronnie, you want to take
All right.
it?
All right, everybody. We've been alternating now for about 6 months. Each instructor takes us home. You guys know my popular saying of, if you're not naked and you're not stuffing your face, please turn on those cameras so we can give our signature wave. And I mean it tonight. Let's turn on those cameras. It's our first time being back together after 2 weeks. But I want to bring to you something that is near and dear to my heart as we say goodbye tonight. There is a saying from Rene Descartes. If you've never heard this saying, it says, I think, therefore I am. Many of you out there are on your first day as a notary. Some of you are on your 10,000th day. I mean, maybe. No matter where you are in your journey, you create your life by thinking what's going to happen, okay? So I want to invite all of you to start going to bed every night and envisioning your life as a professional notary. Look to another notary that you admire, look to a trainer that you admire, and aspire to be like that person. And tell yourself as you go to sleep, I am just as good. And never be afraid of your own greatness. The biggest thing that I see in the notary community that prevents someone from being at my level versus the level that they are right now is the ability to look within themselves and say, I am good enough, I am worthy, I deserve this. I want you to practice that as you go to bed tonight and as you go to bed in the future. Practice telling yourself that you are worthy, that you deserve this, that you are great. I hope that that helps you with your night's sleep tonight, and I hope that you'll practice that as you go through the future. Believe it or not, I own a multi-million-dollar company, and I swear, every night I am thankful for everything that I have currently in my life. I open my heart and my mind to what God may bring me tomorrow, whether that be good or bad, but I do tell myself I am worthy of taking that next step in life. So practice that as you grow your business. And I promise you, as my business flourished, yours will too. Good night, everybody. Let's see that signature wave as we close out tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to see you in all of our classes.